Yo, what's going on guys? This is the build that I'll be using for today's video, and I'm gonna get right into the voice call, and I'm gonna tell you why I use Tyrant's Raw over Rampage even as a solo Dasp. So the main differences between Rampage and Tyrant's Raw is Rampage can give you up to 50% damage, but the only problem with it is that you have to be below half HP for you to get that damage increase for it to even start. Now Tyrant's Raw, you get 15% at all times, and it lasts for 80 seconds compared to 30 seconds. Now one thing that Rampage has over the Tyrant's Raw is that it's got a shorter cooldown. I'm pretty sure it's 1.5 minutes compared to Tyrant's Raw's 3 minutes. So yeah, but even then I prefer the Tyrant's Raw because I feel like when you're the more skilled at Dasp player and you are 1v1 in another Dasp and you get way more hits and say you don't even get low from the other Dasp, well, Rampage isn't going to do anything because it doesn't activate until you're under 50% HP. So that's why I don't like Rampage and I prefer Tyrant's Raw, especially when 1v1 in other Dasps that use Rampage. So I feel like Rampage kind of rewards the better player. Rewards the worst player rather than, and it punishes the better player. So yeah, that's the main reason that I use Tyrant's Raw over Rampage, but this is up to you. Now for this video, I'll be solo, and I'll be using a shatter build because recently shatter got buffed, and the Sense Blunt Teeth also got a buff. So now when someone is fractured or bone snapped near you, you get an extra 10% more damage, and you also do 15% more fracture, which is really nice for the Dasp. Now here I am 1v3ing this Cerato, Rex and Titan, and this can be actually very dangerous if the Cerato played it right. Now you may be wondering why I attacked this guy off the rip. Well, it's because I'm not taking any chances. Usually you get punished for being nice on this game, so it's always good to just be the aggressor. That way you get the first hit and you get the jump on people. Never be friendly with anyone, honestly, because a lot of the time they just take advantage of it. So yeah. Right after this I moved on to Desolate Pass, and I found an aloe and I got the jump on him and hit the shatter. All three of them actually landed, so this made this guy very slow and it just made it very difficult for him to do anything. But I will say this guy definitely wasn't the best player, as the whole time he just kept on clawing me instead of using his bite. So yeah, but either way, got a free trophy. Now moving on, this Achillo started trying to fight me, and honestly Dasp is one of the best dinos for killing smaller dinos, especially with shatter being so good. Now this guy tries to get behind me, but I just use my precise turn to not let him do that and punish him anytime I can. The Dasp definitely has got some of the best precise turning in the game, if I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. Another thing is I was trying to land those shatter bites, but with the Achillo being a little bit faster than you, its base is 1050 compared to the Dasp's being 1025, I'm pretty sure. It's just a little bit faster. Even if you do land that shatter, it has that ripping kick. It can just get away even after you hit him with the shatter, and a lot of the times people will jump as well to build momentum with the Achillo, just like you seen the guy do right there, and it just gets him out of the way from danger. And you can see I'm trying to cut him off, and I start chasing him because he's been running around for a minute now, so I thought that maybe I could run this guy out of stamina. So I decided to try to go for it, but I could hear something stand up, and it's an Albert. Now this is very difficult at this point because now it's a 1v2 against an Achillo and an Albert, and if anyone's ever 1v1 an Albert, you know how good the Albert truly is. So I hit the shatter on him, popped my Tyrant's Raw to get all the damage I can, but here's the problem: because of that block, it's super suppressive, and now I can't hit him on the head, but I can still hit him on the back, but even then it still counts as a block. So I just didn't really want to hit the Albert. I could have played that a little bit better, but either way I probably wasn't going to win that. So yeah, they got the better of me. Now moving on, I decided to ambush the Styrak who was just sitting still, and I hit the shatters on him, and from there it was really easy to just stay on the guy. And the Spino tried to save him, but he just couldn't, and I get away with the trophy. Now here this Meg and Akilo were trying to jump me, so I got behind a tall enough hill, crouched, and just waited for them to come in. That way I could try and land a shatter bite, but as I said, it can be very difficult sometimes to land it, especially if somebody's moving a lot and has a very sporadic movement set. So yeah, but these guys end up bringing a lot more than just a Meg and a Kilo. I can deal with that very easily, but they actually end up bringing another Meg and 2 Akilos, and so that's gonna be pretty difficult fight. But yeah, this guy puts himself up on a rock, and you can see a new Akilos came in. Now there's 2 Akilos and the Meg. Now once again, this is still winnable for me. You also may be wondering, why am I not putting myself up against a cliff? Because I like to challenge myself. Putting myself up against a cliff gives these guys very minimal chances of actually be able to win a 3v1 against a Dasp. So, you know, to make it more challenging for myself, I like to stay out in the open and test my skills to see what I can actually do. So yeah, and it also just gives me a lot more opportunities to punish these guys. So yeah. But as you can see, I'm 3v1ing right now, and even now my health is chilling. It's pretty full, even out in the open, so it's not like I'm getting punished crazy or anything like that. And yeah, now the thing about using shatter is you have to use it in a defensive way. You have to let someone come to you and then hit them with that shatter. That I feel like that's the best way to use it. I feel like when people use it aggressively, they use it the wrong way, and a lot of the times they end up missing it. You kind of want to let people run into the shatter rather than you running into them with the shatter, if that makes sense. But yeah, as you can see now, there is 4 of them. There's still 1 more kilo to get here, but yeah. Now I land 1 shatter on this guy, and because of that I'm just able to stay on this Meg, but he does a slight maneuver and there's a cliff there to save him. So yeah, but I managed to kill 1 of the Megs, and you can see there's now another killer. So 5v1, managed to kill 1, got 1 really low, probably put the other 2 kills really low too. But yeah, now I could have used my Tyrant's Roar, but the thing is, you get punished because it's got a very long, well, you know, it takes a while to pop. So I would be risking taking a bunch of hits. So if anything, I should have popped it sooner. So yeah, but I just didn't get the chance to pop it. So that was kind of my fault, but it is what it is. I put up a decent fight in a 5v1. Now here I catch this Dasp resting, and look at the amount of times I've hit this guy. I'm surprised he's not dead. A lot of the times when you take like 4 times damage when you sleep on the floor. Now this is going to be very difficult because I'm fighting the same dino as me, and the heavier the dinos get, the smaller the skill gap is. But even then, the Dasp has got a nice skill gap because of all the abilities it has, and it's got a pretty good precise turn. But yeah, so here I was trying to just take 1s, honestly, try and get rid of 1 of them, that way I can make it an instant 1v1. I've already put the first one that was sitting down really low, so that set me up to be able to take the fight with the blue one, but this other guy did a really good job to come back and help his blue Dasp. So yeah, now here I'm trying to just finish the kill onto the brown Dasp, that way I can run away, heal up, and come back and take my 1 with the blue Dasp, but it doesn't work out, and I just am forced to run away. But yeah, that was a decent attempt. Maybe I could have played it a little bit better, but yeah. Now moving on, here this Akela was trying to mess with me, and I let him, so I just hid, sat in a bush, waited for him to do some quests, and I got the jump on him. But as you can see, I landed that shatter on him, and even then he's able to get away because he's got that ripping kick and he's able to just jump, and that jump gives him momentum, and I'm just not able to follow up with another shatter. But yeah, now moving on, I can hear some footsteps here, and it's actually an aloe and a circle. Supposedly they were fighting, but I wasn't too sure. That's what the aloe said anyway. And I actually, I'm just trying to creep up on someone. Maybe because when stuff gets quiet, I assume that people are resting, So, and as you can see, I actually catch the circle fully resting. And I actually just one-tap the guy, so he must have been really low to begin with anyway. Now, as you can see, there's an aloe here too, so I put my Tyrant's Roar because the aloe's a pretty good matchup for a solo Dasp. Now, this guy just decides to drown himself instead of actually just fight me, which is pretty lame, but it is what it is. I wasn't going to go chase him into that water as it was pretty pointless. So yeah. Now here I could hear a Stego moving around, and I kind of figured that he went AFK or he was resting, so I found him, and I took a couple more seconds to think about it, and I just decided to go for it. So off the rip, I hit the shatter to give me that 10% more damage, and I accidentally popped my Tyrant's Roar earlier, so I couldn't pop it again, and yeah. So I'm just trying to kill this guy who is AFK, but you're going to hear some Miragaya footsteps, and they can obviously hear me munching on this Stego, and they come in to help this guy. And honestly, if this guy wasn't AFK, I would be so dead, because there's no way a Dasp can 1v1 a Stego. It's impossible. Stego's so much stronger than the Dasp. But either way, I get the kill, and I actually managed to get away from these guys. I just barely managed to get away with my life, but yeah, you're gonna see a fully rest here, get that poison off me, get some stamina back just for a critter to kill me after all of that. But yeah, that was it.